Welcome to Allie's Attic Show, where you never know what kind of surprise you're going to find in my attic. I'm your host, Allie, and today my guest is my sister-in-law is going to love him. She's Irish. He is a Celtic artist, but he's done a whole bunch of different genres in between. I'm going to let him tell you all about it. Please say hello to Ed Harris.
Well, hello. Hi.
Hi, how are you?
I'm doing fine, thank you, and I hope your day is going well so far.
It's going
Good,
awesome.
good.
Okay, so Ed, you have done pretty much everything. So, basically, tell me your story. Like, I know you picked up the guitar at age of 5.
Yes, as a matter of fact, my mother had picked up an old little Stella guitar. I was 5 years old, and she actually took it upon herself. She kind of open-tuned the guitar, not knowing or reading music. I mean, it was just the ingenuity that she had. And I started playing it by laying a knife on the frets, and my very first song was On Top of Old Smoky. What it did was it prevented me from having to learn all the different chord fingerings, and people get frustrated with that. And actually, it started teaching me about chord changes when you're singing, and just by simply laying the knife on the fret as I was singing On Top of Old Smoky, and that's how it started. So,
Wow, 5 years old. I couldn't
yeah.
imagine. Um, so tell me your journey from there on.
Well, from there, actually, I was playing guitar for that, I was taking piano for a while, and then I kind of lost interest on piano after about a year. And then I took up the trumpet in elementary school and I've been playing the horn. I got all the way up through school, college, and I was in orchestra in a Philharmonic Orchestra down in Florida, and I played jazz horn for a number of years. I loved Al Hurt and Louis Armstrong was my idol back then, and then I was back during the Tijuana Brass and all those guys. But as I was going concurrently, I took back up piano and I continued with guitar. And from that point on, I just kind of dabbled in a lot of genres. I kind of went through the rock phase in my early teens. And but then as I got older, I had a greater appreciation. People like James Taylor, Leo Croce, you know, Jim Croce, and those kind of guys really inspired me on acoustic guitar. So about the time when I was about 12 years old, 12 or 13, I really took up more on acoustic guitar instead of electric, and went from there all through high school and so on. I just kind of stayed with that. I started doing some Chet Atkins. I studied classically for a number of years and was doing classical guitar work out west where it was really prevalent.
Mm-hmm.
And then I got involved in a folk group. I went the bluegrass route, so I'm a finger stylist, and I also do flat picking, like in the styles of Tony Rice, things like that. And I do like Chet Atkins, and so I was just kind of doing that, and I kind of picked up other instruments along the way. I took up the fiddle about 30 years ago, and I'm just now getting to where I can start to stand and hear myself play it. It's kind of a love-hate relationship with the fiddle.
Ah,
Violin. But I studied violin classically again for a while, and then but I just started leaning over the last 30 years into Celtic music. It's really my ancestry. I'm from Scottish, Irish descent, and it's just I just connected with it a lot more. So I've been focused on that primarily over the last 30 years.
I'm Scottish.
Oh, okay,
Yeah, I'm
okay.
Scottish, and my sister-in-law's Irish, and we love Celtic music. And yours, especially one song I absolutely adore, is just amazing. So, I'm letting her know that this is up and done once it's finished because I want her to go
Okay.
listen because she's going to fall in love with it. Um, so I can't believe, okay, so you're classically trained multi-instrumentalist,
Yeah.
and now in your Celtic, now that you're doing Celtic for the last 30 years, um, the one thing that cracked me up in your bio is somebody asked you, I guess, what life would be without music. And you said you can't imagine a life without music. And you've been asked many times, when do I find time to practice? And your response was, that's like asking when I find time to shower and brush my teeth.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's just been with me all my life, which I'm sure many other artists out there can relate to this. You can't imagine a life without it. It's like an extension of you. And that's almost like asking somebody, well, when do you find time to brush your teeth? Or or take a shower. A
Wow.
lot of us, we have a lot of time that we waste. Many people, I don't sit in front of the TV when I get home from work. I like to go into my studio, and it's just a very natural thing to me. It's just been something I've always done all my life, and I don't think anything of it. It's not so much how long your practice is. I mean, some people say, "Oh gosh, I got to sit down and practice an hour a day." It's not. It's more of the frequency. If you leave the instrument out, pick it up 10 minutes just to do that one little riff. 10 minutes every time you walk by it, you pick it up and do it. You're going to progress a lot faster than sit down and do it for a whole hour a day. Sometimes it's
Oh,
different for everybody, but
yeah.
that's very important.
Okay. Now, like I said, in your Celtic world now, you have received many music awards over the years for pretty much, I guess, every genre you've been in. But you recently received the Academia Music Award for Best Album in the World Music category for your most recent album, The Below the Valley.
Yes, that's correct. I was really kind of blown away by that selection, but it's an album that I'm very proud of. Each subsequent album, I do everything. I have my own studio, so I do all the instrumentation, everything you hear on the albums. I do all the recording, the mixing, the mastering, everything. So I'm kind of just like a one guy show. I mean, it's just I can't afford a huge budget. One person go out to a professional studio and do it. So I was just really blown away when people are starting to really take notice. I'm my own worst critic, so I try to do the best that I can and work with what I have, and just do the best that I don't have $10,000 microphones or
Neither
anything
do
like
I.
that. You
Neither
know,
do I.
I'm working with $200 microphones. So
Yeah.
it's not so much the equipment, is it really understanding your equipment and just having a critical ear and just doing the best that you can with what you have to work with. That's
Well,
what it's about. It's
you're
just being
doing,
patient about it.
yeah, and you're doing that. You're also a finalist for the 2018 Best Artist Award,
Yes.
and you just recently received an invitation to attend the 2019 Music Gala when the awards will be announced.
Yes, that's kind of exciting. It's quite a flight out there, but I have a son who's in the Navy, so that'll be kind of twofold. So yes, I'm one of the finalists for Artist of the Year award, and it'll be pretty exciting to go out there and attend that. I've never done that before, and stop in and see my son as well. So I'm looking forward to it in April.
I
Uh,
guess.
yeah.
Now, you were also a finalist for the 2016 Celtic Album of the Year for your album The Newburn Sessions by
Yes.
INIC, which is the Ireland National Event Center.
Yes, that was a big one. I'm a member of Trad Connect, which really connects musicians of that genre from all over the world. As a matter of fact, it's a great resource. And I had hit the finalists, and I was going up some pretty heavy hitters there. I mean, a lot of them were professional. I mean, you're talking like the Chieftains and Dubliners and things like that. So when I was in the top 50, when I made the top 50 on the cut, I was just really thrilled. That type of music is a difficult music, especially for a Westerner, an American, Irish American. I'm not from Ireland, obviously. I don't have the accent. I don't speak Gaelic, even though I'm learning. But it's something that I appreciate and have a great deal of respect for that culture. But they are very critical with the nuances and the styling and everything like that. So it's quite an honor to be accepted into that, or be even looked at seriously, to be considered for something like that. So when I made the finalist on that with the INEC, that was a big one. I was just elated. They even made the top 50
Yeah.
on that, so I was surprised.
Well, that's awesome. I can see why.
Yeah.
You're so talented. Now, you've always been supportive in keeping music within the public school system,
Yes.
and you've provided music for 3 documentary educational films for the University of North Carolina.
Yes. I
And
submit. They had asked me to submit some material, and they liked it so much they used all the soundtracks for the whole films. And Crawdad Slip. That's about a pottering family over in North Carolina, near Asheville. It's fifth generation potterers and stuff. And so they used the music for like background and everything. So
awesome. Well, and your
yeah, it's pretty
album
cool.
Reflections of the Heart is being used for relaxation therapy at the VA Medical Center where you are employed.
Yes, it's for PTSD. I'm a veteran as well, and my day job, I'm a maxillofacial prosthetist, and so it's really an honor to be able to help my brothers and sisters in arms this way. And this music that I've done is a lot more epic. It's still of the Celtic genre, but it's more like what something you'd hear in a movie or a video game or something like that. And so I've gotten a lot of response that it is very relaxing, like for sleep therapy, PTSD. So they have been using it in part of their meditation sessions with that, which I was just honored for them to, consider that.
Yeah, definitely. Now you're also an active member in the following music organizations: the I can't even talk, the Celtic Heritage Society, Trad Connect, Fiddle and Bow Music Society, Irish Music Society, and the Four Peaks Art Council.
Yes, yes, I've stayed active with them out in Arizona. Those guys, Fiddle and Bow Music Society, and we go way back. I was a sound engineer for them for a number of years and ran shows like for Alison Krauss, Dan Crary, Tony Rice, all of
Wow.
those guys a lot. We used to have performers come in every week, and so I would run sound, and that's where I really got my feet wet. And it was a great learning tool when I finally got around to setting up my own studio years later. So, and I'm still in touch with those guys. I live here in Wilson, North Carolina, and they're over in Winston-Salem, so it's not too far from here.
Okay.
And the founder and I are very good friends, and they've been in existence probably, 35 years now. I think the society has been in existence.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, so you have done so much. And I mean, I know I'm my own worst critic too, but I'm telling you, Ed, I've listened to Celtic music pretty much my whole life, and I love yours. You are doing it very, very well. So,
Well, thank you so
yeah.
much. It means a lot.
Now, go ahead.
It's just something I love to do. I mean, it's just, it's my passion. So.
Well, and you know what? I mean, I find with Celtic music, number one, it gets your feet moving.
Yeah.
And number two, there's always a story. And the
Yeah.
stories are always so interesting. And I love Celtic music. Well, I mean, I'm Scottish too. And I mean, like I said,
Yeah.
my sister-in-law, I mean, she lives here now, but she is like from Ireland. So she still has she speaks Gaelic to her kids. I have no idea what she's saying.
Wow.
I'm like,
Wow,
what?
that's awesome.
But yeah, she listens to it all the time as well. And my brother, who's married to her, obviously, he loves it. So I told them that I was interviewing you today, and once it was up, they had to go listen. So they will be doing that. Now,
I'm honored.
yeah, based on what you've gone through, Ed, with all the different genres you've been in, all the different artists, all the different things that you've done, and now coming full circle and being in the Celtic world, if you had any advice to give any artist out there based on what you've gone through, what would you tell them?
I would tell them to do it for the love of the music. I mean, that's what's paramount. Do it because you have a passion for doing it. Do it for you first. I mean, so many that go out there and they want to try and get discovered or become known. I mean, that's great. That's icing on the cake. And, there's a lot for that. But don't make that your end objective, because it's a very competitive field. And if you don't make it with that, don't get discouraged, because to me, that's not what music is about. It's like I said before, it's like breathing. And okay, if you get a shortness of breath, you just don't want to stop breathing. So keep with the music. Do it because that's what you love to do. And other doors will open, because if you're really truly doing what you love to do and you have a passion for, people are going to take notice of that, because it'll be reflected in the music that you're putting out.
Yeah,
and I think that's one of the great things about indie artists, because they don't have the pressures of big labels to say, hey, I want this produced at such and such a date. I don't have to answer to anybody like that. So if I want to go in my studio, I can do what I want, when I want, and it'll take as long as I want it to take in order to do it. And that to me is just really important. That's an important part of it.
well, and that's great advice. And I'm finding more and more there's a shift. I'm sure you've kind of seen it happening too, where indie music is becoming just about as big as mainstream. And I think it's going to
Yes.
eventually overtake it. And it's amazing because, I mean, I do have, the odd artist that wants to be signed, but the majority of them don't want to be signed for the exact reason you just said. You want to be
Yeah.
able to do what you want, when you want, how you want it.
exactly.
And I
And
think
that's
that's
so important
beautiful.
for an artist to be, because you don't want to stifle your creativity.
Exactly. And you don't want to, I mean, with the mainstream music, they're all so talented, but they all sound the same because they're told to. And it's just sad, which
It's
is
a
why
certain
I
sound.
love,
It's all about marketing. It's a certain sound that they're trying to put out there in
yeah,
company marketing, so they all kind of jump onto that bandwagon.
exactly.
That's yeah, and that's what we see happening a lot in
Hmm.
that
Which is
area.
why I think indie music is going to eventually overtake it because people like variety. People like to know, okay, I know who that artist is, and I know who that artist is. I don't have to Shazam because I think it's the same artist.
Exactly.
So that was great advice. Now let's talk about your songs. What two songs are we going to hear? And if you want to talk about each song, you can.
Well, the first one is just a pretty cool fiddle tune. It's a lot of fun to play. It's called Morrison's, a Morrison's Jig, and it's a traditional Celtic tune. You'll hear a lot of times played at sessions. Those are just kind of like jam sessions, only you all play, you know the material. It's not a jam in that you're improvising it, so it's structured that way. But that would be the first one, and the second one is an original piece that I wrote. It's called the Otzi. It's just simply Otzi Man, O-T-Z-I, Man. And Otzi actually comes after a name of a mountain of which this individual was found. He's the Iceman, the 5,300-year-old Iceman that was found in the mountain range between Austria and Italy, in the Otzi mountain range. And I was challenged to write a song about this, and it was somebody on Twitter. And I really, and then I put it together, and I wrote it in a day. I got it. I was surprised. It really hit me because I started doing a research. I said, "Oh, that's intriguing." So I started researching about it. I was intrigued. Went in the studio, wrote the song, laid out the tracks, finished it up in a day. And another friend of mine, he contacted the Songwriters Association of Halifax in Canada, and I had a deadline one day. Actually, I finished the song on September the 19th, which was the exact date that this individual was discovered
Oh my goodness.
in 1991 by husband and wife hiking in the mountains. And the ice melted, and that's when they found this individual. And so anyway, I finished it on the 19th, and they said, yeah, so I submitted it. It actually won Best Song.
Wow.
was surprised. So it won Best Song. It got the Best Song award, and it was thrown on the album. The album was released about a week ago. I'm really proud of it. It's gotten a lot of good responses and everything, and it's the Otzi Man.
And what is the name of your album?
The name of the album is Ye Banks and Ye Braes, and that's an old English folk song, and it's included on the album as well. And it's just like it's a reference to a hedge, is what it is, and it's a love song, and that's the title of the song because there's several ballad type songs on this album that I sing, in addition to some of the more quicker fiddle tunes that kind of step up the pace as well. So it's a good mix. There's a couple of guitar solos in there. I think I've got an original called Sailing that's been getting a lot of good responses too. So I've got some guitar work on there, a lot of fiddle, some good vocals, harmonies, and stuff like that on there as well. So
Awesome.
I hope folks will enjoy it.
Well, I know I asked you at the beginning of before we started the interview if I could add your two songs to my radio station, Allie's Amplified Attic. It's every Sunday from 7 p.m. CST to, no, God, I'm getting times wrong. I've got too much stuff going on. It's every Sunday from 8 p.m. CST to 10 p.m. CST. And if you have more music that you want to send, please send it. And I just want to say I love both songs, but Morrison's, obviously, because it's so much fiddle and it's so Celtic. I absolutely love it. But I'd love to hear more. So if you want to send more, by all means, but I'm definitely adding your two
Yeah,
songs.
the Newburn Sessions is very traditional. Almost all of them are that way, and they're all done in the traditional sense where they're a set of tunes each realm. So they're usually like two or three chained together. So.
Wow.
But yes, I would be honored to. I'd be more than happy to send some more
Yeah,
to you.
definitely, definitely. And I want to say you can, okay, so first off, you can purchase Ed Harris. Okay, so I'm going to just tell everybody, if you're looking for Ed Harris, because there's an actor, there's also a heavy metal artist,
Yeah.
type W Ed Harris if you're looking
Yes.
for him, because you'll find him. You can purchase his music online. You can also go to his website, and it is wedharris.com. So people can find you and not go to the actor, the heavy metal artist. And Ed, thank you so much for coming
Well, thank
on.
you.
My
Thank you.
manager, Maggie, is the one that discovered you. And she's my mom, even though she's my
Okay.
manager. And she loves Celtic music too. So she was so excited, a little too excited because she wasn't paying attention to what she was typing.
Oh.
We got to give a little dig to
We're,
Maggie.
we're all good.
Yeah, we're all good. So Ed, thank you so much for coming on my
Well,
show.
thank you.
Anything new happens, let me know, and definitely send me some more songs.
Okay, I sure will. And thank you again.
You're
Really appreciate
welcome.
it.
You're welcome anytime. And thank you for joining me on Allie's Attic Show. Keep checking my website because you never know what kind of surprises you're going to find in my attic. Also, make sure you're subscribed to my YouTube. Cheers.
What secrets do you hold? What secrets have you to be told? From a time, oh, so long ago, what tales of you to be told? Arrow found in its way so deep, strange markings from head to feet. resting place far from home in the bitter cold, and into a struggle we may never know. What secrets, mountain man, do you hold? What secrets have you to be told? For from a time, oh, so long ago, what tales of you that can be told? Its target so deep, a blow to the head, blood on the knife drawn from its sheath, a final resting place far from home in the bitter cold, and into a struggle we may never know. What secrets, Oxyman, do you hold? What secrets have you yet to be told? A chieftain's clothing that you wore, what was the fate that you bore? Resting place far from home in the bitter cold, and into a struggle we may never know, and into a struggle we may never know.